Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to our 28th edition of the Virtual Leadership Seminar. It is a program that we use the virtual platform to educate our peers and colleagues on the best of attitudes. Today is our 28th edition. I want to start with a word of prayer. Father Lord, we thank you for today. As we commit unto you our seminar, we commit unto you our guest speaker, Mr. Sampson Dotse, to deliver to us and teach us on this topic, for us to learn and become better versions of ourselves. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, today,
Amen.
our guest speaker, Mr. Sampson Dotse, will be speaking on the topic, the role of stakeholders in the education of the child. The child in respect of children in general. We are looking at children as not really as an object, but as the subject matter, the role of stakeholders. And to do us that honors is Mr. Sampson Dotse. He's the Youth MP for Afram Plains North in the 4th Parliament, and he's also the Chairperson of the Education Committee. And in addition, he's the cluster head for all chairpersons in the 4th Parliament. And not only that, he is also the SRC president for Jackson University College and other roles you might not know about. He's a private teacher as well. So if you want your children to have good education, you can always contact him at a fee. It's not charity. You have to pay for a good work done. On this note, may I call onto the floor our guest speaker to make his presentation on the topic, the role of stakeholders in the education of the child. Our guest speaker, your audience, your guest speaker. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, President, for the opportunity given me to share my idea on the role of stakeholders in the education of the child. I would also want to use this opportunity to welcome all of you to Youth Impact Parliament Virtual Leadership Seminar 28th edition. Today, we'll be speaking on the topic, the role of stakeholders in the education of the child. As we all know, education is a very important vehicle to success, as we have been putting it. And we, all of us here, attended school. We have received education through various ways and in school as well. Someone may ask, when we say stakeholder in the education of the child, what does it mean? It simply means that someone who supports children's learning and development in school and also contributes to their educational success. Someone who actually supports child's learning and development in school and contributes to their educational success is the stakeholder in the education of the child. So anybody that actually help a child in the course of his learning in school is a stakeholder in the education of the child. And we have a lot of stakeholders in the education of the child, but today we'll be looking at few of them, and then we'll dwell mainly on the first four that I'll be about to mention. So the stakeholders in the education of the child, one, we have parents or guardians. Yeah, before a child comes to school, he or she does not come to the school by him or herself. It's somebody that brings him or her. It could be a guardian or a parent who brings him or her, and then take responsibility for his or her upbringing or everything that is needed in the school. There will also have the teachers. If you send your child to school, you are expecting that somebody who is more experienced should teach your child and impact him or her. That is teachers, facilitators. Then the third one, we have students themselves. So our students uh, themselves are also stakeholders in their education. They also play a key role in their education. So they are also stakeholders in the education of the child. The fourth one, we look at school administrators. Yeah, when you go to every school, there are administrators, people who admit, people who manage the affairs of the school. Yeah, they also play a crucial role in the education of the child. There we also have the community members, the area in which the school is located, and the people in the community. They also have a role to play as far as the education of the child is concerned. Then we also have policymakers, government agencies. You know, it's the government that draw curriculum for our educational needs. If we are to implement a curriculum or syllabus in the classroom, it's the government that drafts all of this. So they also have a crucial role to play. Then we have non-governmental organizations, that is NGOs. They also play a crucial role in the education of the child. We have a lot, but we'll limit it to this one today, and I will take them one after the other, then we discuss. Currently, we as facilitators in the classroom, we have noticed that almost 95% of parents are not playing their role well in the education of the child as it's supposed to be. So today I'll talk extensively on the role of parents or guardians as a stakeholder in the education of the child. Now, when we take the parents, you brought the child to the school. So everything that is needed. So I stated it, provision of basic needs or resources, everything that the child needs in order to learn in school is the parents or the guardians that will provide all of this. School uniforms, stationaries, that example of stationaries, we have exercise books, textbooks, pens, pencils, shoe, and so on and so forth. You can mention the rest. All the things that the child needs in order to learn in school, it behoves on the parent to provide all of this. And then to a large extent, payment of school fees is very key. When you send your child to school, you have to pay school fees for the child. It's not free. You have to pay school fees. And even though government has absorbed part of the fees, but we pay PTA dues, we pay semester levies, we pay examination fees. It behoves on the parents to pay all of this to the for the child to be able to learn, and any other fees that is needed to pay by your ward so that he or she can partake in the education in the school. It is incumbent upon the parents to pay. And then also the health care needs. As a father or mother, before your child goes to school, make sure he or she is feeling well. You check on him or her to see whether he or she is feeling well before you allow them to go to school. But we have realized that many of parents have not been playing this role well. You realize that the child will be sick, and then he or she comes to school, and when teaching and learning is ongoing, he or she cannot contribute. And when the teacher confront him or her, then the response will be, I'm not. Meanwhile, we don't admit sick people at the school. It's the hospital that we admit people. So we always advise that when the children are sick, they should condemn. When they are sick, they should take them before allowing them to come to school. Because when they come to school and they are sick, they will not feel free and then so we always, when they are in school and they fall sick, we call the parents and then inform them. Some parents delay, even some don't come at all, and teachers have to take the responsibility of sending the children to hospital for treatment. So I want parents to uphold this of their role and play it very well. Payment of school fees. Some parents will wait until it is examination time before they will pay their school fees. Or some, even if the children are not sacked for school fees, they will not pay. Even some in the exam hall, their children are sacked. You see, more often than not, when you sack students from exam hall, psychologically you disturb them. So even when they come back, they may not be able to perform well as it should be. So if you are a parent, make sure you pay your school fees on time. And then all of the teaching and learning materials that your child to pay or in order to learn. We also realize that parents have not been, most of them don't buy exercise books, textbooks, other materials that the children are supposed to learn. When you hear from other regions, especially in the rural areas, it's very common. They have money to buy funeral cloths, but when it comes to these things, I don't pay much attention to this. I'm with parents. If you are a parent here, or sooner or later you'll be a parent, this is your role. Take them up. See, when you go to the private schools, before they admit your child, you are supposed to provide all these things: textbooks, exercise books. You have to provide everything. That's why you realize that the private schools are performing better than the government schools, because anything that the child needs, they provide. If you know, then your child will not be admitted. But at the government school, it's not like that. It is worrying. So we are pleading with parents. They should play their role. The things that the child needs to learn in school, they should make sure that they provide that. Then also, secondly, the safety of the child. You are sending your child to school, so make sure that the child is safe from the house, so that you realize that the child has been beaten at home before he or she comes to school. And when it happens like this, they don't feel comfortable in class and learn. Already the child has been disturbed psychologically. So whatever the teacher is teaching, whatever methodology the teacher is using, he or she will not get it. So we are pleading, parents should uphold this of their role and make sure they ensure the safety of the children. You are sending your child, see the driver. If possible, you can rent a driver. These days we have Kandos or Okada guys in town. You can arrange with any of them to be taking your words to school, not that he or she will be joining any vehicle at all. As we are here, we know the in the country now, we are not all that safe. Yeah, your child can go to school and did not come back home. That you'll be very desperate to see him or her. So let's ensure the safety of the children. And also, when you are sending your child to school, look at the compound, look at the having. It also contributes to the safety of the child. But sometimes we look the money, the fact that the money is not huge and we can afford it, then we send our children there. Then at the end of the day, it's causing trouble. So we advise parents to look. There's one role that we have also realized as facilitators in the classroom. the parents are falling short of. That is or monitoring the children to learn at home. If you are a parent here, I beg of you, this is a very important role that you need to be playing. You need to monitor your children at home to learn. When he or she comes from school, you can ask, what have you learned today? Even if you are not educated, the child will try to say some things. By so doing, the child is what? Recollecting what he or she has learned in school, which will make him or her remember some of the concepts that he or she has been taught in school. Set time. Yeah, set time for your children. School children, set time for them. Okay, from 7 to 8, you have to be at your learning table. So if the child is not at his or her table from 7 to 8, then you can question him or her. It's very important. And this is the role that parents are not doing very well for us. Help the children to draw a personal timetable. Okay, you learn maths and science, Tuesday, RMN and social, in that order. So every day, the child knows, okay, I have this and this on my timetable. So he or she will monitor them. Don't allow them to be watching too much. Know the time they have to watch television. Okay, from 6 to 6:30 or from 6+7. Then from 7 on, the child needs to sit at his or her learning table and learn. And parents should take up this responsibility. If possible, you can hire teachers for your children at home. So far, I've read that some parents are doing that, and it is very good. We mostly congratulate them for it. Means that the concept that teachers are taught in the child is not able to understand well. The home tuition teacher will break it down so that he or she can understand. It's very good. So let's help out at home. When they come, let's help them to do their homeworks. Even if you are not educated, make sure he or she does his or her homework. Sometimes you give homework, they come back and bring the same thing. They will not do it. This is as a result of lack of monitoring from parents. I don't think if you are monitoring your children very well, there will be any day that they will not do their homework. Because if you want to remind them, they know that after school they have homework to do. Constantly be asking them, have you been giving homework? Have you done your homework? You are putting him or her on a store. I think parents should grab this, monitoring the children at home to learn. Then time, help them to set timetable. Think it will help us. Let me move on to the fourth role: communicating with teachers on the performance of your children or visiting the child in school. Mostly, we have realized that some parents don't visit their children in school. Once they bring the child to school, that ends it. They have dashed the child to the school. They don't know the teacher that teaches their work. It's very bad. Once in a while or once in every 2 weeks, come to the school. Ask about the performance of your child. Sit with the teacher. How is my child performing? His attention in class, his conduct in school. You ask all of this. If something is going wrong, then you realize, then you solve it quickly. I think it will help us. Communicate. Take the teachers of your worst number. Once in a while, you call them, then you educate them. So if you are a parent here and you have not been doing that, take up this role. And if you are a parent, this is one important role that you should be playing. Some of us here, our siblings are attending school. We can equally help in doing this. We can educate our parents. Maybe you may not be with them always. You can educate your parents on this so that they take up this responsibility. Communication with teachers. Is my child performing? How is his or her performance? Then the teacher will brief you. If there is any solution that you provide, then you do that. Maybe the child is not learning well, it's not performing. You know all this. You sit down with the teacher, then you do all this. I'm advised that parents should take up this role very much. Then discipline. Today, parents, we have realized that they have not been playing most of the roles. So I'll speak extensively on this. The discipline aspect. You have to discipline your child at home. See, sometimes students come to school, then they misbehave. Yeah. Then sometimes you realize that it is from the house. The way they disrespect, disobey the house, that's the same thing they brought to school. So the rules for the petty rules at home, let your children learn how to obey. Don't see on television when it is not 7 o'clock. Yeah, eat before 6 o'clock. These are simple rules. Bath before 6 o'clock. These are simple. Let us teach them so that they know how to play these roles. So that when they come to school, any role that it's in the school, they'll be able to comply with it and then learn. And then teach them how to respect. When they see people, they should greet. Some students, when they come to school, they don't greet. I've realized that most of it is from the house because socialization starts from the house. And our parents are the first teachers that we know. So these petty things, they are the ones to teach us. They run errand. Yeah, it's very important. We run around at where we found ourselves, either you are at your workplace, in school, in the house. So train them to run errands so that when they go to school, they can do all this and make teachers happy, and they will take up their responsibilities with them. Then also, there's a fifth role, encouraging academic effort and motivation. Let us encourage them. Strong grade, learn hard and get a better grade and be someone great in the future. I think when we are giving our children this kind of encouragement, they will be willing to learn more because the father has been saying that you are my doctor. In fact, you will become an engineer for me. You become a teacher for me. Learn hard. This kind of words alone motivate children to learn. So more often than not, let's encourage our children to learn and also motivate them. If the child gets A1 in mathematics, in science, appreciate the child. Don't just, oh, you have done well. At least buy one month. Okay, buy a book. Because you have passed your exams, I'm giving this. Make sure you study hard. If you make it the mom, I have a lot of awards to give you. Think this will motivate the children to learn. And when you look at our educational system, I've been saying it is a Sakura education system because there is no motivation for learners. You see on the bill sheet, teacher incentive, but you will never see student incentive. Meanwhile, they are also needs to be what? Motivated to learn. You realize that when the child performs better and you give the child money, you buy school bag for the child, it motivates them to learn. So more often than not, let us take up these responsibilities. We can, as PTA can take up this role. That at the end of every term, the child who scores the highest mark in all subjects, they can put all the subjects together. That is a master sheet or order of merit. Then the one who comes first, they award that person. Or even in the individual subjects, we can also do that to motivate them, to help them to learn. Then also, there's a very important role that parents need to take up. There's something that we call in education psychosocial and learning problems of students. Yeah, parents should try to solve these problems for learners. I've spoken about one earlier on, that is bullying. Some parents have been bullying their children at home a lot. So when they come to school, even when you are talking to them, they are not willing to respond. When you are teaching, they are so confused because he or she has been bullied at home. maybe food is not given to him or her. Him or her has been caned. So when they come to school, they don't feel comfortable to learn. So if you are a parent here, a guardian or a brother, and your siblings have been more handled at home before they come to school, kindly advise the caretaker or the parents that him or her will not feel comfortable in classroom and learn. And when it happens like they put more pressure on teachers, because it looks as if the teacher is not teaching. Meanwhile, the problem began from the house. So let's ensure that the children are in what? A good condition before they come to school so that they can learn. When children feel happy, they learn more. But when they are down, you will see that they don't grab concepts easily. So let's look at that. And then lateness is one psychosocial and learning problem of learners. The child sometimes parents load the children with a lot of works. Yes, man, go to market and sell for me. Sometimes students come to school around 7 o'clock. Is it 7 o'clock? 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. As him or her nonye dom do lasime every month convenai. And when you find out, it cut across the country, especially children that are staying with people. These are some of the problems that they go through. They come to school late, and when they go back to home, they don't have time to learn. They engage them so much. So if you are a guardian, somebody brings his or her child to you to take care of him or her, for him or her, you don't be treating them in this way, because you don't know what the future holds. Maybe in the future, that child may be the good person that will help you. You don't know. So let's make sure that children that are with us, we treat them well as our children. They should come to school on time and start academic works on time. Sometimes they come to school in the middle of the teaching, once the teacher has finished teaching a lot of things. It disturbs them a lot. So let's look at this. The inattentiveness in class, as I've stated earlier on. If the child is not paying attention in the class, it's not solely the problem of the teacher. Maybe the teacher is not able to create a conducive environment or an engaging environment for the child. That's why the child is not able to pay attention. The teacher is not using the good method. But sometimes it started from the house. The child has been caned. Even he or she is coming to school, no food. So how do you expect such a child to sit down in classroom, learn, write exams, and pass? No. These are problems that we are facing in the country, which I think it should be addressed urgently. The hunger, as I said earlier on, some students come to school without in our even food. At least when they eat something at home before vacation, they come to school is better. I think sometimes they come with nothing at all. From morning to closing time, they will not eat. How do you expect that child to learn? So these are the rules of parents. They should grab it. We have realized that they are not playing this role well. So if you are a parent here, these are your role. Make sure that all these roles are played. Then what you are expecting, the good results you are expecting, you will get it. What you want the child to become in the future, you realize that. Then also, through one see irregularities, some students don't come to school. They come to school today, tomorrow you will not see them. They may stay in the house for 3 days, 4 days before they come to school. It affects academic works. So let's take up or let's make sure that the children are in school each day, anytime. If they are sick, let's get the school authorities informed, and then arrange with them, so that maybe when they go back to school, that lesson can be taught again with a motivation of the teacher. That lesson can be taught. We should not even allow them to be using phones too much. They may do their research, but after doing the research, let's take the phone from them, so that they will not go to the extent of watching things that they are not supposed to watch. Likewise, the television. We should know that the time that they watch television and we should know the time that they learn. Set time for them. Then when it comes to choosing of schools, mostly parents choose school for the children. But we have realized that this should be a collective responsibility for the parents, the teacher, and the students. The teacher may know the strengths of the student better than that of the parents. So you choose the school in relation with your grades that you get. I know your performance. So when I pick a big school for you, and at the end of the day your grade did not meet that, then it means you will not be able to get that school. And the courses as well. Some parents want that their children should become doctors, definitely. Meanwhile, the child does not have that skills. So with the guidance of the teacher, the schools courses can be selected for the learners. I think this is a very important role that many parents have been making a mistake. The person should be a nurse. Meanwhile, the person doesn't know science, doesn't know mathematics. So if you are communicating with the teachers of your children, you know the strength and the weaknesses of your children, and you can take good care of that. Then there's one important role that has become a controversy in the public domain now: repetition and promotion of students. This is a very big issue. A child may be repeated if he or she is not performing well. But this should be in agreement with parents, teachers, and then the students. You have not been able to perform well, so repeat this class. And mostly when we do this, we don't monitor them. You realize that when the child is repeated, the child he or she will be there and no special class. But per my teaching philosophy, when you repeat a child, there should be a special class. Yes, we call it a remediation, so that the concept that the child didn't understand, he or she will be able to grab it from there. But in our educational system, we repeat the children, we don't monitor them, we don't do any of this. And most often than not, when you repeat a child, you are repeating the child in the same classroom with the same teacher who is using the same pedagogy or methodology to teach that child. And you think the child will improve. Only few of them will improve, because the teacher who taught him or her before, him or her is not able to perform, is the same teacher with the same pedagogy. So that when we repeat the students, let's as well change the learning environment. Let's guide the teacher to be using different methods, and then teach materials to teach the child. And then there should be a special class for a remediation. Then sometimes sometimes the learning environment alone encourage the children, so they learn. You can promote child, a student who is not performing well. In this case, the child is missing a new environment. You promote him with a new teacher with a new methodology, so him or her will be able to cope. So sometimes it may come from the teacher. Maybe the teacher doesn't use the right method to teach the child, so he or she will not grab the concept. But in a new environment, a new teacher with a new methodology or pedagogy, he will catch up. So let's play this role very well. Let's all boil down to the communication with teachers and the authorities of the school. Then this role can be performed. So these are the roles of parents in the education of the child. So if you are a guardian, these are your roles. If you are a parent, these are roles. If you are a brother here or a sister here, these are the roles that your parents should play. If they are not playing them well, keep them on their toes. Some of them, they have not been to school, so they don't know all these things. So you that are learning today, educate them. That these are they should play, and if possible, you can assist them to do that. Getting to look at the teachers as a teacher. When you send your child to school, you are expecting somebody who is more experienced, more versed in some areas to teach your child. and that is or the teacher or the facilitator. Are the roles of the facilitator. As a teacher, you have to deliver a high quality instruction. So if you are a teacher here, make sure that you deliver what a high quality instruction. Do more research, read more, prepare your lesson notes adequately, look for your learning materials, and teach your children. And when in the classroom, use various methods. We have realized that most teachers have not been doing this. They teach with that what teaching and learn what resources. If you are teaching what evaporation, make sure you boil the water for the children to what observe how evaporation what happens. When you are teaching them what construction in mathematics, use the ruler, the compass, protractor to what construct the what angles on the board for them to observe. So one, prepare your lesson notes well. Prepare a very good teaching and learning materials, and then what? Make sure your methodology, techniques, and strategies are well working. In the classroom, we have a lot of strategies that we use. We have mentors in the classroom. That's a pedagogy, techniques, strategy that the teacher will use for children to understand. These are some of the roles of the teacher. Very important one. Then assessing the students. This is a very key role of teaching as a teacher. So when your children comes to ask them, have you been giving homework? Today, have you done assessment or exercise? Ask them. If these things are not going on well, then you communicate with your teachers of your children. Homework school. Then you know how things are going. Then the teacher will communicate to you the reason why homework is not given and the class exercise is also not given, because it's a duty of the teacher to assess the learner's progress, even during the teaching and after. That's why we have various forms of assessment. We are what we call formative assessment. When the teaching and learning is ongoing, the teacher pause and throw questions at the student to see whether they are following the teaching. Then we have what? Some that comes at the end of the lesson. You give exercise, you give tests. At the end of the term, you conduct examinations to see whether the children understood the concept that you taught them. So if you are a teacher, you are not doing this. This is your work. If you are a potential teacher, this day you can see even engineering students, nurses in the classroom. Maybe when they finish their courses and they are not posted early, you see them in the classroom. So if you are here, pick up these rules so that one day if you find yourself in the classroom, you'll be able to play this one well. Then providing feedback and guidance to students and the parents. When you teach the children, you give them assessment, mark, give them the results so that they will know their performance and guide them as to what to do, how to learn. And at the end of the term, we prepare our terminal report cards. These are our feedback that we send to the parents about their children's performance in the school. So these ones, when teachers are preparing it, they have to exercise patience to prepare them. Because when you make a mistake, it means that becomes what? The performance of the child. So normally take time to prepare all these things. If your child comes home at the end of the term, that terminal report, question him or her. Communicate with the teachers. Why did my child come home with that terminal report card? Then he or she will answer you. So if you are playing all these rules, you will realize even there will not be any need for repetition because we are checking in and out very well. If the child is not performing and you realize that education is not good for the child, then we find another work for him or her to do. If we are playing all these rules, it will be very good for us. Creating engaging learning environment. As a teacher, you need to create what? Engaging learning environment. That's why in the cages you hear the madam singing for the children. They are dancing on it. At the GHS level, you have the starter. Then don't send anger to the classroom. You do all these things to prepare the learning environment. Don't send your anger to the classroom. You are fought with your wife in the house, or your husband, or any other person. Then you tend to invent that anger on the learners. It doesn't that way. Always go to the classroom with let me say, a smiley face. Yeah, the moment the children see you, then they feel happy. They can learn very well. They can approach you as well. Then also, one role of the teacher is to build a strong relationship with students and their parents. You have to build a strong relationship with what? The learners. So if they have a problem, they can come to you and then you solve it for them. As I'm here, even because of the relationship I built with my students, and the female ones are free to come to me and they tell me their problems. Even sometimes the female teacher that needs to hear all those things, but because of how I am to them, they see me as their father and their problem solver. So they communicate that to me. In education, we call it teacher-student rapport or student-teacher rapport. There should be a very good relationship between you, the teacher, and the students, and the parents as well. If you fight with the parents of the child, don't bring that anger on the child. The child hasn't done anything. So let's make sure we do this. If you are a teacher and you fight with the parents of the children, don't bring it to the classroom and then treat the child badly. The child is innocent of whatever happened. So let's take up this thing. Then we should also treat, as a teacher, manage the emotions of learners. It's very important. It's making it that most learners are very comfortable to learn, because most teachers or some teachers don't know how to manage the emotions of the learners. Students that are bad-tempered and know how to handle them. Don't say, oh, as for you, then you are angry. Who are you? No, that is how nature give it him or her. So handle it for him or her. So shine type. They feel shine a lot. Know how to handle these students so that they'll be in the classroom and then learn. So these are the roles of a teacher. If teachers are not playing role well, you as a parent, you have the right to ask, to question them. My children are not bringing homework. They are not doing exercises. They said the teacher is always for moody. Friend, they doesn't allow us to come to him or her in them, so that you can meet the and resolve all these things, and the child can move on with his or her education well. Now the students, wrapping up, the students as a stakeholder in the education of the child, they have a very big responsibility to play. They are the center of everything. When the teacher teaches and the child did not learn it, the child won't know it. The parents can provide everything. The teacher can use every methodology to teach. But if the child did not learn it, it means all your effort has been multiplied by 0, cos 90 log 1. That's why we need to manage students well and let them understand education, what they are doing. Let them understand the curriculum. Mostly we have been making an error. When a new curriculum is introduced, we have to educate the learners on the curriculum. But Ghana, that has been done so poorly. You ask the student what is the name of the curriculum in school, and they don't know. Well, now, as I'm talking to you now, we have what? Standards-based curriculum. We have shifted from what? Away from the objective-based curriculum. Now, in our schools, we are using what? Standard-based curriculum, where we have shifted from rote learning or memorization to mastering of content. To the what? Mastering of what? Content. The student will master the content. And in this way, the child has become the center of the learning. teaching should be more learner-centered. And the skills of the learner should be identified in the new curriculum. So students are to learn active participation in learning. Teachers have to monitor them during classes in school so that they learn. Then at home, as I indicated earlier on, parents should what? Monitor the children at home to learn. Give them time. Don't engage them always, because that's where you are getting money to pay their school fees. So always you engage them. Have any time to learn. No, it is disturbing as teachers in the classroom, because at the end of the day, the blame is put on the teacher. Oh, as for that school, not teaching well. The teachers are not teaching well. We point three fingers at teachers. But very funny. In Ghana, when the child performs well, we say, oh, this child is intelligent. The teacher is not recognized at that moment. But when the child fails, we say that the teacher is teaching. The teacher is not good. So let's monitor our children at home to learn. Then pay attention in class. Teachers make sure that students pay attention in class. And all these things start from the house. When the child comes to school in a good mood, he or she will be able to pay attention well. Copy notes. As a student, you have to copy notes. Then go and learn. You need to copy notes. Have your notes and your jotter. Find that the teacher thinks you can forget them, jot them down, so that when you go to home during your lesson time, then you go through them and you will not forget the concept. Then doing your assessment or exercise and assignment. Now in the new curriculum, we have 2 terms: assessment. That means exercise. Then we have assignment, which also means homework. So the child needs to, as a student, this is your responsibility. Make sure you do exercise, you do homework, you write what? Exams. Some students, sometimes they don't write exams, but they want to be promoted. And when you find out most of it are coming from the parents, they can even take them away. Closer to examination, they can take them away. Then you realize that the child needs some of the papers. Papers. Let's see to it that our children sit for examination and then pass. And then as a student, a goal for yourself, setting personal academic goals. I want subject that set for get to myself. I want to get a or in my and let you set a goal for yourself, then you learn hard work towards it. Then provide a feedback. As a student, provide feedback to teachers on me. When the teacher teaches something and you don't understand, approach the teacher in a Nicodemus manner. You say, what you have taught today, I don't understand. Then the teacher will explain to you. The concept you taught, I don't understand. The work you gave, I don't understand. But sometimes because the students misbehave as that teacher, they can approach the teacher. And the moment you hear the teacher, sorry, you hear the subject as well. So when that teacher is teaching, you not get to. That's why the discipline should hold well. When the teacher maybe cane the students, don't talk to the teacher in bad way in front of the student. Even if the teacher is not there, don't use insult on the teacher in the presence of the student. If not, when that child comes to, he or she will respect that teacher, and it will go a long way to make words. So we advise that the discipline aspect should be a hold well, so students can approach sorry, their teachers, and if they don't understand they're cooperating with peers. Yeah, you can form study groups with your peers and then learn to get helps a lot. concept that the teacher thought you don't understand. His or her, it will surprise you. Your peers will teach you, or your colleagues will teach you, and then you understand. So always, I encourage my students that they should form a study group that the teacher understand. Their colleagues can help them, and this is accepted in education, even in collaboration with the teacher. The student who is versed in a subject, a particular, I always do that. We call it peer teaching in education, where you allow the learner to teach the colleagues and they understand. Then you once a while you allow the learners to mark each other's work. You can give them work after doing the work, then they exchange the books and mark. We call that peer editing in education. It's not always the teacher that will be marking them wrong subject. Can teach the colleagues. So I not so always is the teacher that if they allow the colleagues to mark them correct or wrong, then they see that I've not performed well. Otherwise, sometimes they will think the teacher targeted me. Always he or she me wrong, which is not the case. So let us make sure that these things are done. Then, as I said earlier on, the school administrators as a stakeholder in the education of the child and have a role to play. They set vision and policies that school will follow. They set, they draw the timetable for the school policy uh, and all that, all policies for the school, the policies that the school should follow. They do every program in the school, other quiz competition, debates, any other programs. They do that in collaboration with the teachers, and then that is being delivered. They also manage the resources of the school. Yeah, the resources that the school is using, the money aspect, the chairs. Um, you can talk about even water. They manage all this. Make sure that water is on campus for learners to buy or to use, and also budget for learners. You know the amount of food that schools that are engaging in school feeding. You look at the population of the students, that you know the amount of food to cook. The school administrators do all of this to help. Then they also ensure that teacher development is being upheld. So supporting teachers in PLC, we call something professional learning community, where teachers meet, discuss their problems. Maybe you are teaching a co-concept and the learners are not getting it. You can come and raise it at this meeting so that your colleagues can educate you. You can even ask your colleagues to come and teach that topic. We call it what? The use of what? A resource person. Yeah, it is also a teaching a resource. You use a different person um, other than yourself for learners to understand the concept. Then you have teachers to upgrade themselves. When they work for what, they help the teachers to what, upgrade themselves. Organize workshop for them so that they can understand or certain concepts or concepts that they are not able to teach well. Things that they are not able to do well, they can also do that. Then they also ensure the safety and the discipline of the school. They make sure that every day the students are safe before they come home. You know, your child will not come home and then he or she's what forehead is being held with what plaster. Uh, it means that has happened at school, and then don't move out of schools anyhow. And also discipline is in the school. anytime you go wrong, they give you a punishment to correct you and enforce the rules of the school too. And then set, so they ensure that the children are safe and all to do of the child. They do all these things. Then I'll wrap up with the community members. I'll wrap up with the community members. Where the school is located, people in the community have a role to play. One, providing resources, support. Yeah, the community members have to support the school so that school can run well. Go to some some place, you say that okay, the chief and the members in the education of the community donated what laptop to the school. It is a support that they are giving. That's their role. Some even built libraries for the school. Yeah, these are some of the things that we should be doing. So if your community is not doing this, you can call a meeting, summon a meeting, and educate them on this. That they have a role to play. It all looks as if the community left the school in the hands of the headmaster and the teachers. No, they should also play of their role to show what commitment in the running of the school. Then the maintenance of the school. You realize that in the government schools, it's the government that finance everything. But sometimes government delays maintaining the schools. You realize that the roofing sheet are spoiled. The community members can mobilize the resource and they repair all these things. You in the hot realize that part of the building is being broken or is collapsed. Community members can come together and then funds to do these things. Then, as I said earlier on, providing computers, you see that this school they are having computers to learn what computing. You know, we are in technological world. These days. If you don't have any knowledge in IT, it means at some places you'll be redundant. So you assist to build all this. These are some of the rules. Then monitoring and role modeling. They have to monitor the students, teachers in the school, whether they are teaching well or not, whether they are becoming school well or not. Committee members, these are their rules. Taking teachers on this, we see that always they will be in school, and if they have a problem, then you assist them. It helps that teaching and learning goes on well, and then we don't even need to repeat any students. If we are all working in our roles to the full, we don't need to repeat any student. We will only realize, okay, this education is not good for him or her. So, okay, let's allow him or her to complete classes so that the person can go and learn trade or work. If you are doing all our role well, this is what you'll be saying. Then participating in school events behoves on the committee members to participate in the school. Maybe the organizers speech and prize giving day. The community members have to participate. Yeah, donate to the school, and even their presence alone shows that the school actually belongs to them, or that the school is being left in the hands of the headmaster and the teachers to participate. SRC celebrations, the committee members, parents, and committee members have to participate so that the program can move on. It's their duty. This celebration in some schools, at the end of the third term, they jubilate. Yeah, they celebrate our and parents and community members can grace those occasions. And these ones and doing these things give some kind of hope to the learners out that our parents or the community members are teaching us. They have interest in our education, and this alone will motivate them to learn well. So day in, day out, let's make sure that we play these roles very well, so that children can learn very well in school. On this note, I would like to thank you very much for paying attention. Pause here and then invite questions. And then even if something crosses my mind that I did not talk about, I'll come back to throw more light on it. So on this note, I would like to thank you very much for the opportunity giving me. I thank you.
Wow, this is a
Mr.
brilliant
President.
presentation. This is a brilliant presentation by our guest speaker and very, very informative. And I'm sure the masses will be glad to hear such a very detailed presentation. I don't know whether you were reading, but you're just flowing, and it's just very nice. I have a couple of questions for you. Um, what is it to do with students that are resourced, but they have a special problem? I think you spoke about some, but let's talk about the issue of retentive memory. What do you do about students that are resourced but have this issue of not having a retentive memory? The second question is about the students that are not resourced. Their institution is also not resourced. There are still countless schools under trees, and even if they are under a shelter, they are using block as desks. What do they do in the interim as they await aid from government or from foundation? What should teachers teaching in this deplorable and uncatered for areas do to better motivate the students? And I think what should be the target of stakeholders in resolving issues of resource students but having mental issues, and students that are okay but are basically not resourced? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. On the retentiveness of the students, more often than not, one, sometimes it comes from the methodology that the teacher used. If the teacher did not the right techniques or the right methodology to teach the child, it's very easy that the child will forget whatever has been taught in the classroom. And also, inattentiveness to students themselves. This day, it is very common. The teacher will do all what he or she can to control the or to manage the class, but some students will still make noise, will still not paying attention. So, not paying attention in class also make it that uh, students forget concept that they have learned what easily. That's why mostly we encourage that teachers should use what? Should control the class well and use what teaching and learn materials. When you use the teaching and learn materials to teach the learners, it is very difficult for them to forget. Because there is Chinese philosophy that I hear, I forget, I see, I remember, I do understand. So when you are teaching the children, if you use what the teaching and learn material, the students will understand. And sometimes to the workload, the child comes to school, he or she is already tired, so the brain cannot absorb much. And in the later that the brain absorbs, he or she can forget it what easily. So so more often, let's make sure that load is not too much. The teachers also use the correct method and the teaching and learning resources. And the students as well should pay attention in class. And I think this will help that the students' retentive memory will be okay. They will remember things easily. Then the schools and the trees, schools are not resources, are not resourced, and then the students as well. Uh, Sometimes it takes a very long time before government see to this. So the community members, what the community can mobilize, that's what I'm doing, and then put up, even if not a complete building, you can get some pavilions for the learners to be in it, and also for the teachers to be teaching the learners in it. Sometimes it's the rain starts, they have to stop the school prematurely, either they have done for the day or not, they have to stop. So community members, PTA, have to take up these issues. And I think when the community members and parents start, before appealing to government or authorities, they respond quickly, because already something is being done, or something has been started. So they also have their quota, and then we have these structures for the learners. And then if there are no books, community members, together with teachers as well, who are willing to give out, they can do that, so that they can get books for the learners. Especially the PTA should play a crucial role in this before calling upon government. Then also to encourage the teachers to also teach, they should be what? Evaluation. You know what teachers take of the month is so many, and looking at where they are in the what area, there should be what? Some kind of motivation from government to those that are teaching what in those situations. Then PTA, teacher incentive, they what and carry what teachers to teach there. They must respect. Mostly when you respect somebody for the work that he or she is doing, I mean without giving anything, that is okay to work for you. So let us respect them. Then we, as I said earlier on, motivation for the learners. When they pass well, you motivate them, and this will encourage the learners to also and then also we should find, or we can even call upon on what NGOs that we know to assist us with the resources that the learners are supposed to use. Maybe they don't have textbooks, they don't have math, computers are not there. We can follow NGOs, PTA, and the community members can take up that role. For now, I think that is it. If there's any other question.
Okay, cool.
Is that
Some
clear?
of the PTAs, appears to not really know their job, and it appears sometimes the management of the school does not also know how best to relate with the PTAs. Is there any guidance on that, so that PTA chairman could take a clue on how best to relate if the school management or some of these stakeholders to take interest in the school and support the school?
Mostly PTA takes up some of the things in the school. Even now, disciplinary issues, PTAs are called, PTA executives are called, and in order to maintain a good relationship, I think the school management should know the role of the PTA, and any time the need arises for them to play their role, they should invite them. They should invite the PTA executives, and they should make sure they have a well-formed PTA executives, and mostly the chairman the other members have been what the parents. Is I think only the secretary that has been to be teacher. Yeah, and then so they should realize their role and engage them. If you are not engaging them, the school authorities are not engaging them. Their role play, they are not giving it to them. They also sit back and be watching. So it also relies on the school authorities to be inviting the PTA or more often than not. Then also the PTA executives who are found once in every month Let me put them in that way. They should visit the school and ask of their problems. Or we don't have this. Our learners are putting up these behaviors so that they can get maybe a counselor to come and give them counsel and what guidance. So I think the involvement should be well coordinated. Then the PT executives or the PT as a whole will see the school as theirs and then play their role. I think that will be very good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. President.
I'm not sure there are additional questions, so let's take your closing remarks and then we
That is
conclude the program.
okay. I must say that these are the major roles of stakeholders in education of the child. So parents that are listening to me, those that are yet to listen to me, potential parents should take up their responsibilities. Those that will be listening to this audio or recording, they should take up their responsibilities so that children can learn better. I've made earlier said it earlier that if we play our roles very well, there's no need to repeat any student because we are all working hand in hand. Wherever there's a problem, we get to correct it. So if we realize that a child is not academically good, then we can find other avenue for him or her. So parents should take up these responsibilities. Play their roles. Teachers should also take up this. Teachers should also take up this. The students themselves, the community members, the school administrators, and the NGOs that have devoted or sacrificed to help schools. You also take up their roles very well. I think one thing escaped me. The Old Students Association of Schools also have a crucial role to play in the education of the child. They are also stakeholders in the education of the child. So students, all students of a batch can decide to visit their alma mater and then check out on the problems that the school is facing, and if there is any solution they can provide. We are all in various old students associations or alumni groups, and we know our roles. So all students, they also have a role to play. This presentation is good for everybody's consumption. If you have not given birth yet, you have is what siblings, or you yourself you are a student, either in the higher institution or at the pre-tertiary level. Take this one and play your role very well. You realize that what I've said it here. The rules when we play all these roles, within the pre-tertiary level, the learners are constant with everything. So when they get to the tertiary level, you don't need to even monitor them to learn. You don't need to even tell them what to do. That is if we have been able to engage them at the pre-tertiary level, constant with everything. We will not suffer again. You realize that the university that we attended, some of our parents they don't know that because even some of us we are grown up, we know most of the responsibilities, so we take them up. So let us all of us play our role well, and parents should try to be visiting the school. Some parents do not even know the class that their children belong to, and even the school children belongs to. I will plead that parents should take up their roles very well, and then we move on from there, so that we can have great people in the future to handle or to control this country. the country now, we can see, is in the crisis of leadership, a good leadership. It depends on us to train our children well so that they can take up responsibility in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our guest speaker, for this very educative section. It has been very enjoyable, and I know a lot of people will take a clue from it. And we extend our gratitude to God for making this possible and making the network stable during your entire presentation. That was a miracle done because God knows the benefit of this presentation and He has cleared the way. And our second thanks goes to you, our guest speaker, for your dedication towards the cause of informing stakeholders of their roles towards the education of the child. And to Youth Impact Movement for providing this opportunity, we say thank you. We say thank you for this opportunity. And we know when the video gets there,
You're
a lot of
welcome, Mr.
people,
President.
yes, a lot of people will benefit from this session. Our closing prayer. Father Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for yielding to our prayers as you have prayed for our guest speaker. We call for more momentum for him to make more impact in his community and environment. And we call for this seminar as well to get to the table of many influential people for them to know how to do as stakeholders in the education of the girl child. Thank you. Amen. Do have a nice day.
Amen.